Call the meeting to order.
Awesome, thank you.
Ready, Amy? All right, call meeting to order. Ordering approval of agenda. We have add 3.5 resignation of personnel. And then you would like to move 8.1 to 8.4 and move the others up one space. Are we on the same page with that? Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody said 8.5, but we caught that error. The survey's word.
Motion to move, or motion to approve as amended.
Okay, you have a motion? Second, all in favor? Okay, consent agenda. No questions on that, I'm assuming, pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Okay,
Any other questions?
I don't have anything.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion, second, Kylie, all in favor? Okay, that brings us to 4.1, Charger Spirit Club. Katie Black, you have something you want to say?
Well, she was thrilled to have to come to this, by the
To
way.
be hostile, have enough of that at home. So, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see in your packet our mural that's up there now. What we are asking for, well, I'll back up and say, so we're Charger Spirit Club, and we kind of started several years ago to support all SFT, junior high and high school activities and sports. We've done things a few different ways over the years. Some, we start off doing little events and stuff. Some of those were more, or better received than others. And then it just really wasn't real, it didn't flow real well. So then we started like just being more of a funding organization for coaches and sponsors to approve, to ask for funds. And then they could come up with their own things that were kind of important to their teams or organizations and stuff. So we've done a little bit of that. And then we recently, within the last couple of years, if you've been to any of the athletic events in the fall, we've sold ads for the programs, and then the office staff has put them out. And we've actually come up with a good, real consistent fundraiser through that. And so we have more money to spend, but we really haven't been getting a lot of asks. So we looked around and was like, okay, what can we do just to make things better? And one of the things that come up was just like starting to look at facilities and what we can do to kind of just spruce things up for fun. So we continue to have sponsors and support, and they see where their money's going, and we're making like a long-term meaningful impact on the school and the students, and trying to promote spirit and stuff. So this was what we kind of came up with for this year. Our idea is to have that mural. It's a vinyl permanent display put up on the south end of the dome gyms in the high school. The 8 foot tall and 50 foot.
5 foot tall.
5 foot tall,
Yeah,
50 foot long. So we had kind of been working with Kyle on that, and he was for it. He wanted to approve the design, which he was fine with. And then he just asked that we kind of come and get final approval from you guys to do that.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks
I love
for
it.
all your hard work. I know it.
Yeah.
Always is the most gracious job. but-
Once it's approved, it'll only be a matter of a couple of weeks, I think, before it's actually installed at the
Oh,
school.
nice.
So the kids should see it before the end of the year. And,
Is it like permanent? Is it printed or?
It's a
it's a
vinyl.
vinyl, so it could come down, but, assuming that nobody's up there like trying to take it down, it should last a long time.
It's supposedly lifetime.
Okay.
So
So I wanted to make sure that you guys, if we were gonna do something permanent to a facility, that we brought that to the board, and then we talked, Katie and I talked a lot about moving forward with maybe a future MOU agreement on what we can move forward with, board approval, what maybe doesn't need board approval, things like that, and have maybe a memorandum of understanding. Then it's not every time a coach asks for banners of the seniors that were coming to the board all the time. So maybe we look at a process like that. I know a lot of booster clubs do those. They have bylaws. They look through it. So it's not always just a constant coming and asking, it's more of a committee type thing and they make decisions. And so, but I thought maybe bigger projects that we were going to manipulate facilities or doors or more permanency, then those come to the board. So we talked about that as well. And
Yeah,
We have enough funds that we are looking at trying to do the front doors. And part of what's caused a little bit of delay was just not knowing for sure where we could make investments that were going to last a long time. And so with the doors, we know that that's something that eventually will potentially be updated. But the cost to do those doors, I think the impact that we would get in the short term for a couple of years will make that worthwhile. But we've not started to work on design.
because we wanted to kind of see where your guys were at on that. So I don't know if you've been to other schools where you've seen like you walk in and it's the see-through vinyl and you can like have your mascot or, Go Trail or something like that on there. I'm fine with like asking for board approval on some of this stuff, but we're needing some guidance on when to come to you guys, because by the time like we get to this point in the project, we've spent hours and a lot of money getting things to a point where we can just move forward with them. So other things like that we have talked about in our meetings, just to give you an idea of things that have been thrown out there, like replacing the plastic cups that are in the stadium and the fence. I mean, technically that's a facility thing. Like, is that something you want us to, if we buy a new thing that says all hail the trail and replace those? We had discussions about like maybe working, and then I know we are gonna have to work with administration on some of this to figure out timing, budget, is it appropriate, long-term facility plans, all of that stuff. But like, if we wanna buy a roll-down flag to put up at the gym of the high school, that's an alteration in the facility. Do you feel like we need to come to you for that? If we wanna wrap a van, do we need to come to you for that? If we wanna put a logo on the school trailer, do we need to come to you for that? Those are the kinds of things that we're looking at. We would like, I'm not trying to overstep, but we don't wanna put a bunch of time and effort into things that maybe don't move forward after. Maybe there's reasons, too, on those things too.
How much communication is happening with admin in the buildings?
Like on this, I've met several times with Kyle. And throughout the year, I've probably met with him three, 4 times on different things we were doing. An example of that was we had talked early on about updating the record boards at the high school, and we were gonna have those like professionally done and maybe incorporate a video display and some other things. And we worked a long time on that. And then the design came out of maybe the remodel and actually the area that we thought would be untouched isn't gonna, maybe not. So that is all on hold. So we're kind of like Alyssa said, we're trying to look for things that either are gonna be, that'll be impactful short term and either can transition into a long-term stay, or, that if we spend $1,000, they come down in 3 years because we're redoing the whole front of the high school, okay. We know what we're getting into. But we don't wanna put everything on hold while we're waiting, because we don't know where we're gonna end up. So I don't know, we're just looking for feedback on that kind of stuff, on when and where to come to you
Is that
guys with.
something we can, I don't know,
Well, they're a booster club, so do we,
like look at others, I don't know.
yes, so there are lots of samples and examples I can pull from. I've already talked to Baldwin and a couple other surrounding schools that have actual boosters or school foundations that do some larger school projects with activities. So I'm gonna look at some of those bylaws. I thought that would be real easy to do and share that with them and administration and then bring that to you guys for approval. In the meantime, I think if we have some things I'm wanting to do right now, we just bring those to the board, especially if they're big facility things, then get those approved, and then once we get that done, then we'll have we'll know what they need, like the cups and stuff, does that need approved?
no.
Yeah,
But I would
right.
say all of the ideas that those are awesome ideas.
Yeah, but I think if we're going to put, redo the whole front entrance,
Yeah.
that probably needs to be a
Sure.
board approval, or if we're going to, record boards, that could be, those things can be sensitive things to talk about when you're messing with people's record boards, but they're falling down, the paper's coming off, and they weren't put on very good
And I
material.
think some of the misunderstanding with that is people thought we were just gonna take them
Take them
and throw
down
them
versus
away.
redo them professionally. So we just need to,
Yeah.
I think when you bring it to the board and you have an open discussion and people hear what you're doing, and then you guys approve it, I think that's just a good process, versus just making blind decisions.
I would ask though, that the records that are up there now, did any of that get approved, or every time we hang a state wrestler, does that get approved? I mean,
Well, that was the school did that. I mean, that was just, the
Yeah.
principal put those up years ago, so.
No, but with that said, I mean.
I'm just saying they're gonna
give
spend
the
money.
Administrators
That's
those,
right,
the
yeah,
permission
Kyle
to do
and
those things.
the
I think the administrators did it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
But,
sure
but
it was.
would we give would we
Yeah.
say, work with the administrators in the building?
Yes, that would be part of the MOU in my opinion. We would just put that in, like, here's the things, we're okay with you just getting administrator approval. Here's things we'd like you to bring to the board.
Yeah.
If they're putting up a record anyway, we don't care who pays for it. If they want to pay for it, let them do it.
Sure, it's just most fundraising efforts
If
that
Kitchen
we,
Hygiene breaks a record, we're gonna change it, whether we pay for it or they pay for it, right?
sure.
Oh, yeah.
So just do it.
Yeah.
It's simple enough.
Yeah, that's what I say. Make it complicated.
And Katie, I'm curious, like, on that, like, is it gonna be like pretty high up or like in
Do
the
you know
middle
where the
or?
students sit on the south end
Yeah.
of the volleyball? It'll
So
be
it'll be-
right above those
Okay.
bleachers. So when you walk into the gym,
It's
Yeah.
gonna be the first thing that you
Yeah,
see.
so right about, oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, those students.
You guys know I'm all about Boltman everywhere, so I love it. I actually had someone tell me the other day that there's nowhere to take like pictures at our school. Like I know in the,
Mhm.
Oh, the front entrance, no, there's
Oh,
that. That's
that'd
a
be
deal.
cool.
yeah,
But
but like at like sporting events and stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we do have in the commons, you know, like the thing there on the back of those bleachers, but then, oh, is that not there anymore? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, but It's then
not
like,
great.
you know, the
Gaps
tables are in the way and it's, yeah, so
Yeah.
I think it's great, yeah.
And some of it's just formalities, like we have policies on fundraising, policies on donations, things like that. It's just, I wanted to bring it to you, make sure that you guys, you know, kind of, we're part of the discussion, and we weren't just making decisions
You
on.
wanna make an official motion?
I'll make
for
a
this
motion to
get this going?
approve, move forward the banner.
I'll second.
Just a second. All in favor? Do you wanna
Thank
ask?
you guys.
Can't wait.
Stephanie,
Great.
you wanna ask
That was
about
great.
Rapid
Thank you.
Release?
Appreciate it. I'm just ready to see it.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I'd rather be off the bus than the van,
Thank
Bus might be a little bit.
but beggars can't be choosers.
Okay, Mr. Rob, you read my mind.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for hearing from me, and thanks for all you do for the kids here. I know they really appreciate it. My name's Trent Robb, for anybody that I haven't met, head boys wrestling coach here, Santa Fe Trail High School. I thought I'd start today by giving a quick recap of our season, you know, and how things went. I apologize, I don't have a visual aid for you, but I'm just gonna rattle off a couple of things I'm proud of from our kids this year. Number one, retention rate. Kids who came to the first practice, 2 kids who finished the last practice was above 95%. Only 2 kids that actually came out and tried to practice did not finish the year. I thought that was pretty impressive. Usually it's probably more like 25 to 30% in a given season, so really happy about that. Repeat league champs, I think actually it might be back to back to back. But I was just gauging off of last year's performance. We won by a larger margin than in 2025, which was always good to see. 3rd place team regional finish, 4A all-state first team academics, and several kids above a 4.0 individually. Had 6 state qualifiers, 1 state placer, and returned several letter winners and state qualifiers after losing only 5 seniors out the door this year. So really excited, you know, about the state of our program and kind of where we're going and how things are looking, you know, especially you look down at the younger kids, trail hands, and kind of what's going on, and things are on the up and up. So a lot to be excited about. Santa Fe Trail Wrestling. Boys and girls side, obviously I don't want to speak for the girls side.
Go ahead and speak for the girls side.
They're doing great things, you know, you look at the,
Tell us a little bit about their stats.
well, I don't have enough on them, but they had a heck of a state tournament, had a heck of a season, where they take 6 to state, took 3rd as a team. You know, how many placed out of 6? 4? 4 placers out of 6? I mean, a couple of those are freshmen. I think things are looking really positive moving forward. Which brings me to why I'm here tonight is to ask for an experience for our kids this summer. We'd like to take the kids to Greeley, Colorado and the University of Northern Colorado, where they host a 4-day team camp. Each of those days, there will be a technical session with the Northern Colorado staff and athletes, so we're just with our kids. And then each day in the afternoon, they'll get 5 duels. So you get the equivalent of 20 matches and some really good small group instruction from, the best in the region. It's a Division I university out there, so great opportunity for our kids. If we stay there, and eat their food, stay in their dorms, do all that, it's $360 a kid. We'd ask the parents to help with some of that cost, and then we'd do our best to fundraise money that we have already in place to kind of mitigate it for them from there. Obviously, we pay for fuel, out of our fundraised budget, and anything beyond that, I would love on the last day maybe to take them canoeing or something like that. So there's just some things that we would try to take care of in addition to the rest of the piece. So that's why I'm here.
So are you asking for use of the vans?
Yes, asking for use of the vans and I guess just permission to go.
Okay.
And is this, so just the boys going to this
Just
camp?
the boys, and
Okay.
I should have specified, I'm sorry, it's 7 through 12.
Oh,
that we're
7 through
trying to
12.
take. Yes.
That's a nice campus.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of kids, like, do you know how many vans?
I don't yet.
yet?
I have 7, maybe 8 that are tentative commits to go. I'm
Okay.
hoping to get that closer to 12 or 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure,
if I
that'd be
could
great.
get 15 kids and take 2 vans, that would be fantastic.
Like baseball.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, they'll be cool. Something.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, they got a pick. So-
It's tough.
I
Everybody's
mean, I
busy.
guess as long as they're
And
available.
if we need transportation around here, we can use a bus. If they-
Oh, yeah, yeah,
we'll
yeah,
figure it
Robbie
out.
will figure out whatever
Yeah.
transportation he
Okay.
needs, that's fine,
Perfect.
yep.
That's it, we're good.
That's
So
great,
I'll
thanks for taking
make
our
a
kids
motion
about
to
to
approve
Absolutely.
the out of
Didn't mean to put you on the spot about
You guys
girls.
like this?
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
No worries.
Oh, you
They
did?
did really well.
Yeah.
I didn't-
Great job, Fred. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve the out-of-state travel as well as use of the school vans for traveling.
A motion, a second, all in favor? Thank you, Mr. Rob.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Sierra Arnold. You have a student here with you.
I do. Student.
Oh, she looks fancy.
It is like a student.
Yes. How can we see those navy blue jackets?
We've only seen them once this year.
But they look great, they look really good, I love it, I'm so proud of this program, great job.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, good evening, thank you for this opportunity for letting us speak to you today. So I am the FFA advisor and ag teacher at the high school. And then this is our reporter off of the officer team. So she's gonna help me kind of present today. And today we're gonna share what we've done so far this year, some accomplishments that we've achieved, and then also ask if we can attend the National FFA Convention in October. So that's out of state in Indiana. So FFA this year, this is the first year of FFA, and I've been honored to serve on the officer team. We've been focused more on leadership, personal growth, and career success through our ag program. So throughout the year, we have participated in events, competitions, and other activities that have helped us build real-world skills in a variety of different events throughout our community. One event we attended at the beginning of the year is a Green Hand Conference in Prairie View, and to be an FFA, you do have to acquire a Green Hand certificate, which is just your first year FFA member. Alright, so we also hosted an FFA tailgating event where we served pork for the community at the football game that was held on Halloween. So that kind of allowed us to connect with the community members and kind of get our name out there. That was kind of like the first bigger event that we did. Yes, and we were able to have one of our members, his family owns a catering business, so they were able to cater all the pulled pork and we didn't have to pay for anything, which is awesome. So we use it as a fundraising opportunity also.
Great.
We also hosted an ag career fair where we brought in different people. We brought in Can Equip, we brought in Foley, we also brought in K-State School of Agriculture, and it kind of helped people who are interested in the ag field connect a little bit more.
And then during National FFA Week this year, we made breakfast burritos for the teachers and then also the FFA members to show our appreciation and then also support our FFA and celebrate.
So a little bit more hands-on experience that we've gained this year is we visited Flory Farms, and Piper Flory, who you may know, is our officer. She's our chapter president. And then we also got to learn how to evaluate swine and more livestock judging.
We also competed in multiple career and leadership development events. Okay. Those would include like horse judging, dairy cattle judging, which that's just when students place like a class of 4 cows based on different features about their body, how they're built, that would help them determine milk production. We did entomology, so the study of bugs, poultry judging, which that was my kind of favorite thing in high school. I went to nationals for that. Meats evaluation, floriculture, and then also vet science.
They allowed us to explore different areas of agriculture and develop skills for the future. To support these opportunities, fundraising has been a very, very important part of our program currently.
So right now we are doing 2 fundraisers. So we have the sponsorship layer campaign, and that's going really well. The officers are kind of in charge of all of that. They've been asking different companies, businesses, just supporters of FFA to help us grow and develop our program. So we're getting a lot of good feedback on that. And then we're also doing a 50-50 raffle, so we'll sell raffle tickets at baseball and softball games, and then the winning ticket will get half of the earnings.
And another not really fundraiser that we did this year is we were able to get a lot of funds through Eric Lang's funeral, which really helped our program grow and get more money for us to go to these conferences and stuff like that. In the future, we're planning more events like labor auctions and blue and gold sales.
Blue and gold is just like very popular among FFA, and they sell different meats like chicken tenders. And we've actually had a lot of people already ask about that and wondering, oh, are you going to do the blue and gold fundraiser? So yeah, we're going to be looking into that for next year. Alright, so we have a lot of different activities that we need to fundraise for. So just regular events, meetings, sometimes we do like fun activities at chapter meetings, like we had a gingerbread house building competition in December. The Kansas FFA convention we'll be going to in May, at the end of May. And then the summer officer retreat, which we're not sure where we're going for that yet. But that's kind of where the new officer team will work on team building activities and then also prepare for the next year. So they'll develop the program of activities for the next school year. So that's a big couple day retreat that we'll do. And then the last one is National FFA Convention. Alright, so the funds we raise go directly back into supporting the students.
They can help cover materials for our chapter like food and awards for the events and meetings.
And then they also help pay for transportation, hotels, and meals for conventions and different leadership experiences.
One of the biggest opportunities we fundraise for is going to be the National FFA Convention. We didn't get to participate in last year because we did not have enough funds and we were a fairly new chapter, but now that we have more members in and we officially have an officer team, it would be a really great opportunity for us to get to go.
So this is the largest student leadership conference in the country with over 60,000 members attending. So I've been
in my FFA high school careers, and then also when I was student teaching. And it's like huge, like the different sessions they have. It's like held in an arena, and it's just crazy how many people they fit in there. It's really cool.
There's also like a big concert too, like it's just a big event that a lot of people talk about. We were sad that we didn't get to go this year, but hopefully.
But it is October 21st through 24th. It's located in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the new officer team for next year would be attending. So that's gonna be about 6 or 7 students.
At National Convention, we'll get opportunity to take part in many educational experiences, and people will get to learn more about the poultry judging and just all of that stuff.
So this includes like general sessions with speakers and award recognition. So those are the different sessions I was talking about where you're in this huge arena. And then there's also different workshops that they have. And students can work on skills like public speaking and teamwork.
There's also like a career expo where students can talk to all the colleges in agriculture like K-State and more ag companies.
And then there is also hands-on learning activities that students can do. And then they also can participate in interactive displays and then try new ag technology. I have a future ag teacher living with me right now. She's a student teaching at Ottawa. And she was telling me, she's from West Virginia. She was telling me that she saw the Kansas State booth at National Convention, and then that's why she chose to go to K-State. So that was kind of cool. I didn't know that before.
The convention also focused heavily on leadership development.
So the students attend workshops where they can learn about how to lead teams and run meetings.
They'll hear from keynote speakers who will share real-world experiences and advice.
And these experiences can also help students grow, build confidence, and step outside their comfort zones.
And of course, the important part, the networking opportunities, just getting to build connections with other FFA members.
And students can meet FFA members from all 50 states. So it's a really cool experience. They make friends with different people from different states, get on their social media.
This allows us to learn how agriculture is different in all the different areas.
And we can also bring like new activities or ideas back and use in our own chapter.
It'll give us an experience to explore a lot of future careers also.
And in the expo hall, students can talk directly with college representatives and industry leaders.
Overall, this experience is going to help us prepare us for our future. It would be a really great opportunity for the FFA officers to go.
Yep, it can build leadership skills, confidence, real-world experience.
They might discover a future career and gain the confidence through networking with other people and push them for a more leadership position.
And they can take back what they learned at National Convention and use it in our own chapter or classroom. It's really cool.
This is just some memories for the year. So a lot of these are from FFA week. We went to it was a farm show, and that's me holding a baby goat. And I did pay $5 to hold that baby goat. I wanted to hold that baby. They also had little kangaroos there too, which that line was long. But that was really cool. We got to talk to a lot of different people in agriculture. That down there in the middle is the officer team for this year. Dalen and Corbin McCain serve as our sentinels. Chloe Cannon is our treasurer. Kinsey Gallion is our vice president. Piper Flory is our president. Ellie Sowers is our secretary, and I am the reporter. Some photos over there of me, Dalen, Piper, and Ellie. That's from Ag Teacher Appreciation Day. Up at the top is just more photos from our meetings. One of them's from the Green Hand Conference.
Alright.
Sounds like you've done a lot in your
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
year. Great, good job, that's a lot, I know it takes a lot to start all this, so great job. Awesome, I think you guys got a good
So
experience.
we're asking your permission to go to the National FFA Convention.
Yes. Yes.
Are you asking for like, also asking for like transportation vans and things to get there? Are you asking for any funding?
She's like, shoot, if you want.
I wanna clarify.
So I think part of our fundraising that we're doing now, the 50-50 raffle and the letter sponsorship, is we're hoping will be enough to get us there.
If you guys get to a point and you wanna come back after you've looked at your fundraising and talk to the board again, you're welcome to do that, I'm sure they would
It
entertain
would
you guys
only
coming,
be, what, 7 of us, 8 of us?
Okay.
So each of us would all individually be able to fundraise also.
Yeah, fundraising is doing really well. This year, like, with all the donations and support from the community,
That's good.
so.
Everyone's
Yeah.
excited.
Good job.
it's,
Very
we're
excited.
doing
Finally.
really well.
Yeah.
Way better than I
A
thought.
long time coming, so
Do you have a
great
cost per
job.
student? Do you have a cost per student to go to that?
Per student, I'm not sure on
No,
specific
That's okay,
costs.
I just,
Yeah.
that's okay.
I don't have like a super specific cost breakdown of everything yet. It's been pretty busy semester, but I was looking and it seems like it will be around 10,000 to attend.
For each person? For all of
As,
us
as,
together?
Total?
as a,
Total.
yeah, as a chapter.
Per kid.
As a group. But I can also, eventually I will get that cost breakdown and I
Sure.
can.
That would be.
Let's say,
Yeah.
And that 10,000, does that cover, hotels, food, all those things you're considering? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Are you planning on driving, correct? Is that what-
Mhm.
okay.
Yep, so we would just need one van, cause we would have 8 including myself, if everyone can go. But yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the out-of-state travel and usage of a school van.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Thank you, ladies.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Presenting.
Yeah, thank you.
And if we don't see you, good luck. All right, 5.0 personnel report. You need some time?
Yeah, 15 minutes, yeah.
15, that would take us to 47.
Mr. President, I move we go into executive session to discuss personnel pursuant to the non-elected personnel exception or coma in the open meeting or Zoom in the boardroom at 6:47 with Faith Floyd present.
Motion,
I'll second it.
second, all in favor? Five after.
Yeah.
Five after about 7:18 minutes.
5:07, I'll make
Make
a
a
motion.
motion.
Yeah, there.
18 minutes to 7:05. All second. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's what I can't do. I'm struggling.
Second, all in favor?
Oh, wow.
10 minutes.
Thank you.
Go on.
No, you're good.
Nope, you're good.
Justin, step
Sorry.
up.
You got it.
All right, any questions on personnel?
Motion? I'll make a motion to approve the personnel report.
All right, motion,
I'll second it.
second, all in favor? Opposed? All right, administrators.
Okay, so we all know the spring is a super busy time for the high school, so I hope you're keeping up with our calendar and schedule of events. A lot's going on. Newsletter has been very big. The amount of information that we're getting and putting out just is testament to all the things the kids are doing. So going to start off with Charger of the Month. So this month we are celebrating Layla Latimer. So she got nominated to be Charger of the Month. Very sweet kid, very quiet kid, very driven academically, very supportive of her students or her peers.
Poor girl's face was bright red when I walked into the science class today. Or what? Sophomore.
Yeah.
Sophomore, yeah. But she was, I think she was pretty excited.
Yeah, she lays low, does not like to draw attention to herself, so yeah. That's a great example.
Quiet figure, though.
So, very happy for Layla. Kind of some of the things going on. Well, I guess I do want to thank you all for supporting our staff and students in their requests, being able to direct the resources towards our kids, to provide them the opportunities to help them with their growth. I greatly appreciate all of that. So in addition to that, I also want to talk about like FBLA. FBLA recently had their state competition. We now have 12 national qualifiers for this year, and Gabe Smith was elected as the state president. So great representation again.
Good job.
Julie has done wonderful with that program, so it's continuing to do great things. We got music competitions coming up. We've got state solo and small ensemble on Friday or Saturday. And then next week, we got large groups. So you should be hearing a lot about what's going on with the band and choir. Tell the kids good luck, and we expect to see good things coming back from these. One conflict with Saturday, though, it is prom season. So prom is this Saturday. I imagine we'll see plenty of posts of all the kids in their attire and things that they're doing. So excited for that. If any of you would like to come out and help chaperone, we would be more than happy to have you out.
They will be notified.
But it's an exciting time of the year for the kids. With athletics, golf, softball, baseball, track and field, all of them have had great starts to the season. We're seeing a lot of good things right off the bat. So very pleased with that, especially coming from a long winter season, just jumping straight into it for the spring. These kids are getting after it. So very pleased to see how the rest of the season will progress. So definitely come out and make 2 events. This Friday, I think everybody's in action somewhere. So we've got a lot going on. State assessments are taking place as well. We just did our math assessments this past week with sophomores. We finished up with everybody. I think that we are completed with the sophomores with the math assessments. We'll be doing ELA next week, and then juniors will be testing the science the following week. So a lot of testing going on. Excited to see how our interventions have kind of impacted our state assessments as well. So I do anticipate seeing some growth. And our kids, we talk to our kids. I think they recognize the importance of it, and they're taking it seriously. There's been several kids talk to us about the state assessments after we brought it to their attention, what their scores were their 8th grade year, and now they kind of see where they should be setting personal goals. So very excited about that. Very encouraged there. Our ACT scores did come out, so the preliminary scores for the first round of our juniors, we had a much higher number of juniors take the ACT this year than the past, I believe, 3 years. And we have taken a significant jump or an increase in those overall scores. So I'll get those broken down and share with you guys at a later date, seeing what we have going on. It's paying dividends. And also talking with the juniors, a lot of them are not satisfied.
No.
They want to go back and take it again and show what they think they can do. So the fact that collectively, they've already scored higher than the past years and they think they can do more, that was exciting to hear as well. So kudos to them. Some of the other things going on, we wrapping up the year with some club recognitions with KAY, NHS, BOA. NHS going through the application process now, so we should be having some students selected and offering them the opportunity to join NHS because of their accolades. So the students are really seeing how big the academic portion or their growth has been and where it's kind of culminating right here towards the end of the year, which also leads to graduation next month. We'll talk a little bit about more of that. Oh, coffee shop as well. Yesterday, geez, it was just yesterday, wasn't it? With our professional development, coffee shop did their first trial run with our staff. And so we had the staff in there getting drinks from them, they were serving everybody that was coming in for professional development, so I'm excited to see the students in there engaging, making drinks and talking to staff and getting feedback on it. It went very well.
Yeah.
So excited about that. Yeah.
Good. Looks really good.
Doing good things with programming. The kids are all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, I'll let you go.
Well, I have that much. Well, like the high school, we're in swing with state assessments. They did 5th and 8th grade did science last week, and then everybody's doing ELA the next couple of days, and then math next week. And then we'll finish up after that with just those makeup tests. So I think we had a little kickoff assembly. Had a fantastic speech from the superintendent. She came, got them all riled up.
Thank you.
And so I think we got some trying to just stress the importance of these tests, without providing a lot of pressure. So just get in there, do the best they can. And we knew with the instruction they've got this year and the background they have, if they'll just do their best, I think our state assessment scores will look good. Getting ready to start kind of rolling off some enrollment stuff. So I think I had that in the newsletter. We're adding some more electives back into the schedule that kind of had gone away. So one of the things I saw this year is some frustration with kids that there wasn't a lot of choice in certain hours. If they weren't in band, and it was like not much else they could do. So we're adding some more stuff back in so that parents will see those coming home here in the next week or so, talk to their kids about electives at the middle school. So we're kind of excited about that. I think the kids will enjoy some of those hands-on electives and a little bit more choice than they've had. So kind of looking forward to seeing how that rolls out next year. Staff yesterday was a pretty good day of in-service. They worked on their standards alignments. In the afternoon, we spent some time looking at handbook changes for next year. Looked at a tardy policy, which somehow disappeared from the handbook. I guess they haven't had one, so I don't know. So I apologize for being late today. I guess I would be subject to the tardy policy. And then some other things. So we're gonna take all that stuff that we talked about yesterday, run a site council here at the end of the month or the 1st of May when I get that meeting set up, and then you guys will see that this summer for sure. The handbook changes. Chargers of the month, we kind of hogged the show here. We had 4 of them at the middle school. So our classified Charger of the month is Kathy Kern. She's a 3 Lakes paraprofessional, and just a pleasure to have her around. She's always got a smile on her face, always bubbly, great with the kids, and a real positive person there at the school. One of our new 4th grade teachers, Skylar Kunch, was our primary certified teacher of the month. She has been outstanding. I go in her classroom and just amazed that she's a first-year teacher. Her kids love her, so you'll see the picture. Has the pictures gone out yet? They all gathered around her for that picture, and yeah, she's well-deserved in that.
I get my video recorded, I'll get it tomorrow.
Okay. Our secondary certified person was another new teacher to CAC, Natasha Jenkins, who has been outstanding there. Great classroom management, great classroom teacher. Member of our BLT, just has stepped in as a new teacher and really done fantastic work. And then our student, our 4th through 8th grade student Charger of the month was Ryan Strother. And Ryan is just a great kid. He's, I think some of the comments that was made about him is how helpful he is. When he sees somebody struggling, he doesn't mind just getting in there and helping the other kids out. So he was in PE, so he's all sweaty in his picture.
I stopped him in the middle of like 15 down and backs, and he's like, he couldn't even hardly catch his breath, so it was pretty funny. But the whole gym clapped for him, so.
Yeah, cool.
Kid jumped on his back and he did a piggyback and that's pretty typical Strother right there.
Yeah, typical seventh grade.
Yeah.
Athletically, had our first home track meet yesterday, went well. Got a little bit of a late start thanks to Wellsville showing up a little late. But we got going and actually ended in good time. But we set 4 school records yesterday. So I want to recognize, if you didn't see it on Facebook, I'll recognize Sebastian Grubler, new record in the pole vault. Ryan Strother, new record in the turbo javelin. And then 8th grade girls javelin, Addie Daniels set a new school record. And then the girls shot put, Addie Daniels set a new school record. So we had 4 school records set yesterday. Very successful meet.
Can I ask you to share, was it Strother who got almost double what the record was?
Yes.
I just was
It was like 44 something, he
insane.
got like 80 something.
Turbo
Yes, it
Jazz
was
last year, I think was the
It was
first.
49-1 set last year by Kyler Bennett, and he did 88-8.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, number right? That is insane.
So they have their second and final home meet next Tuesday as well, which will be a bigger meet, so. But looks like our kids are competing well and do well there. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, and Laurie's not here tonight, so I'll talk about the preschool. They've got kindergarten roundup coming up, so our 4-year-olds that are now 5, or most of them are 5, will head over to visit the attendance center over there for and get ready for kindergarten. So it's a big day for them to hang out as the big kids now at the new school, and so that's always a fun time. They're also we're hosting a music program for them next week. That was a big hit last year. Oh, sorry, not next week, following week. I'm off 1 week. Following week, 22nd, yes. So that was a really big hit. I mean, we hardly had enough room in the gym. There were probably 300 people here. It was pouring rain. So it was fun though to have our little preschoolers there, and they were they just handled it very well, and I think the teachers were nervous that it was going to be chaotic, and it wasn't. They did an excellent job, and all their kindergarten readiness skills they learned, and they did such a great job. So they're doing that again. And then, yeah, I didn't have any chargers of the month for SAC this month. They went to other buildings based on the bands that we put the chargers of the month in. So a couple dates up there. We have one more screening for the year, which is our early childhood screenings. We do these before we get into preschool. Yeah, that's about it. Questions about preschool? Okay, all right.
Carrie?
All right, I'm gonna share a few things. Like Kyle and Mike have said, our state assessments have kicked off and are going very well. Teachers have been working really hard with the students, and we feel like they're very prepared this year, so we're excited to see what they have. Yesterday, we had professional development, and several of our staff members, both teachers and paraprofessionals, completed 2 years of letters training. And letters is intense. It's 8 days of professional development. So for the last 2 years, they've been dedicated those 8 days to the professional development. Plus, they have to do online portions of studying and reading. Plus, they have to take tests after every unit. So it is a really, really big deal. The State Department came yesterday, handed out cookies and celebrated them. We also took pictures. So if you see anybody who did complete that letters training, just know it was a lot of work. But they did a great job, and now they will be able to get their seal of literacy, which is a new requirement by the state of Kansas that all elementary teachers, teachers of reading, English teachers have a seal of literacy that must be done by June 2028, and it just says that you have learned about the science of reading. And so now these teachers can say that that is done, and it will be on their license by this summer. So that's a great thing. Last week, our DLT met, which is our district leadership team, and we went over KISA,
which is our school improvement, and we have our big goal is structured literacy, and then we had 2 goals underneath it, professional development and also MTSS implementation. So our structured literacy under professional development was our letters, and so now that has been fulfilled. We made that goal, everybody completed letters training. And then our goal for MTSS was to hire an interventionist and then begin MTSS at the high school, which also we succeeded in that goal. So we will be able to go next week to Greenbush to our school improvement day. That will be with 4 or 5 other districts that are about our size, and KSDE will present our goals and then our successful meeting all of our goals. We are also in compliance with every single piece of compliance factors right now for KISA. So we have a lot to brag about next week, and I'm very excited to share that with everybody that's there. And then we'll start working on our plan for next year. So we definitely know we're gonna be looking at standards alignment and some other things, and so we'll start working on that plan next week after we present, and then we'll bring it to you guys hopefully in a month or 2 and share with you what our new plan will be for next year.
Question on the letters training.
Yes.
How are they gonna do that with new teachers? Because we did that as professional development the last 2 years, right?
So most new teachers are coming in with it now.
Okay, so it's kind of
if they were either in districts and have done their letters training, number 1. Number 2, if they're a brand new teacher, they have it because they've received that in their
okay,
college
I'm in
hours.
college now.
So the teachers that we, even last year, most of them had their seal already, so.
Perfect, here
Yeah.
you go.
That's a great question.
Yeah, excellent question.
Anything else?
Yeah.
But if they do come in and they don't have it, there's like 3 or 4 options that the state gives us that we can kind of look through together and figure it out.
No more questions? Thank you. 7.1 capital outlay.
I just wanted to give you an update on the HVAC control project. So we put together a nice scope of work based on a previous vendor that had come in and given us some guidance on our control project, which is a large project. I appreciate you guys telling us to move forward with that. We are going to need a little bit more time than I thought, because vendors all want to come in and get eyes on it. So it was a little bit quick of a turnaround from last board meeting to now to get everybody to come in, assess it, write up their scope, or write up their bid for us, and then get it to you. So we're giving them till April 20th to finalize that. I would, however, like to ask, if possible, if I can get a quick board meeting, special meeting, to approve this this project. Mostly because we want it to move forward this summer. And they've got to order equipment, things like that, get it on their schedule and get that ready to go. They all know that we are wanting it done this summer, so that's part of that scope. So I would like to get that approved. I don't know what the best day would be. It doesn't matter if it's, I need at least 4 of you here to make that vote. It'd be nice to have more of you. We could do it virtually, and Andy could help us do a virtual meeting, so we're live that way. It will literally be like a 15-minute meeting. I'll show you the bids. I can give you those to look at ahead of time. They are all on the approved bid list already, so they're either with a cooperative purchasing group or on the state list. So as vetted vendors, it shouldn't take too much time to look at those. So you guys want to throw me a date?
You should have them by the 20th of April.
They're due the 20th, so it needs to be probably after the 20th, just to make sure I get them.
What dates or any dates?
Could do the 22nd.
Second.
That's the preschool music, the preschool program.
That evening.
22nd is, yeah. But it's 6 if it's a.
Would a noon hour work? for you
That's
guys?
what I was saying. I was like, could we do it over lunch?
Yeah, like over a
and
lunch.
do a
Yeah.
virtual meeting?
Sure, we just have to announce it and let everybody know and when we're doing it, and then we could do it live, so it'll be recorded if people can't zoom in or whatever, so yeah. It'll be the single item.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it. On the 22nd?
Well, whenever.
Earth Day?
If you wanna do it Friday, if you wanna do it, doesn't matter to me.
Is 2 days enough to give you time to?
Why don't you give me 2 dates, and then
22nd or 30th, or the 22nd or 23rd?
Over noon, over lunch, yeah.
We say lunch.
When I say lunch, I'm saying noon one, but if I knew in advance, I could always block if I needed to.
Can you?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as I
okay.
know.
So why don't we, go for noon on,
22nd. And if that doesn't work, 23rd?
make sure
Is that enough time?
yeah, I can do noon on the 22nd. And I can do both.
So are we gonna shoot for the 22nd?
Yep, let's do that, 12 o'clock, I'll have Amy, move forward with those procedures and we'll call a 12 o'clock special meeting for HVAC control project.
And it'll be, virtual.
Yes,
Well,
if that works for you guys.
yeah.
If you wanna come in person, you can. Okay, Tanner can come in person with me and we can sit too. He can call the meeting to order.
Works
Yeah.
will be good for me.
Thank you for doing that. My apologies that this just taken a little longer than we anticipated, so. Okay.
All right, that was 7-1, we adjusted 8-1 to 8-4, so, the new 8.1.
Yep, which is petition to protest school closure. Yes. So what I have in there for you is just acknowledging that we have been informed by the state of Kansas that a petition to protest the Scranton school closure resolution has made its way to the State Department, which is a right of our stakeholders to do for an administrative review. It's part of the statute. So at this time, what they are doing, currently I was on the phone with the commissioner and he told me that they will first work with Osage County to verify all signatures, ensure they're all voters in our district, check signatures, those types of things. Once that verification is done, then they will move that on to a committee that makes a decision on whether or not, well, they'll look at our resolution and make a decision on whether or not they want to review it or not. If they want to review it, then there will be they have 45 days to review it and get back to the district. What they would do is provide feedback, a level of scrutiny, additional action steps they advise, things like that. So at this point in time, it is advised that we put a pause on the disposal / repurposing of the Scranton facility at this time until that affordability to our stakeholders is given to go through that administrative review process. So that is kind of what we need to do per statute. So I wanted to let you guys know that, wanted you guys to acknowledge that we've received that. So if anybody wants to talk about that, we can do that as well.
Is the county's role in that part of that 45 days? Or
So I asked and I said, so do we need to wait for, is the county's part of that 45 days? No, the 45 days does not start until the county verifies.
Do they have a amount of time?
I don't know.
Supposed to do that?
Well,
I think they're gonna push to get it sooner than later. I mean, I don't, so, but it's the state reaching out to them, so I'm hoping the state and the county will partner and get that, verified and looked at, yeah. So they'll make sure there's enough signatures and all the process, so whatever that all looks like, they'll make sure that's done and given to them, so. And then we'll have that 45-day period after that, and then we should hear back from the state. Okay, so that'll be probably in June sometime. All right? Okay. Do you guys have any other questions, thoughts, anything you want to say? Okay, okay.
All right, the new 8.2 reconfiguration update with HTK and Piper Sandler.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Looks like it's coming.
While we're getting connected, I believe you emailed out the updated plans
I
and
did.
cost information, so, the plan, I think, is the same from what we had in November, and, so we were, just wanted to be here and answer questions about that. There is, as you see in the grocery store, filling up your cars, there's costs just keep going up. So there has been adjustments on that. To do a bond, you have flexibility in what the scope and what that bond amount is. Some of these projects are ones that would be easy to be capital outlay projects. And so you can do those out of capital outlay, still do the project, but fund it through capital outlay versus the bond. So you can adjust what that bond amount is by moving those projects into capital outlay and out of the bond. So that's where there's a few different options on the way that the pricing is listed on those bond projects. So to do a bond resolution, the scope of the project and the bond amount, the date of the election, the type of the election, and then the financing plan. So on the plan for Carbondale, what this is showing, the items in red are ones that we had talked about in that November, October board meeting timeframe of ones that could easily become capital outlay projects instead of in the bond. The green, and then same with the Santa Fe Trail High School site with the middle school moving there. The ones in red, those could also be capital outlay projects. And then, or same with the ones in green. So the way that's summarized on that third sheet was if we did all of the items, that totals to the colors in blue on the right for different election dates. And then if you pulled out like the controls at the high school and the dome roof replacements and improvements with the green, if you took out the green items on this sheet, then it would be the green number on the side. So
And that's
where,
both domes, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where you have looking at what.
How do you break that up, Faith?
So if the project takes 3 years to do, we would do one roof, 1 year in capital outlay. So it'd all go on during the entire project. But we would fund it out of capital outlay to remove that from the bond amount. And we would budget it out affordably so that we would do one roof this year, one roof next year, or with the controls, and just make sure we can afford the projects. But we'll have, over the length of the project to get those done. So it's gonna feel like it's part of the project, but it's just funded differently.
Yeah. And that's something that's common whenever we're doing bond projects. We're also, you have a contractor there to do those same capital outlay improvements through the project. And so it's just the financing for that on the district side.
Do you guys have any questions on utilizing capital outlay?
No, my only thing was I know Laura Lee was very adamant that the finishes in the older classroom and those, she was like, those cannot be, those are things that the teachers really felt were a priority to make that developmentally appropriate, I guess.
Yep, and
So,
those are those,
still in.
yeah, I think those are still in there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought the renovate finishes in older classrooms, is that not part of that?
It's still it's in the.
They're
bond.
just considerations we can make. The green ones are the ones we pulled out and put in that pricing. The green ones, the red ones were just considerations that we could make for additional.
So the
For
red
capital
still
outlay.
included.
Oh, red is still included.
Yes,
included.
red is.
Oh, okay.
Red is still part of the total, yes. It's just they were considerations that we talked about over time, and the green were the ones we actually pulled out to show a new amount if we wanted to actually do those in capital outlay. Those were the recommendations that I had made to them to bring to you, but honestly, we could do a lot of them different ways, so.
Yeah, and that's where, we have contingency within these numbers, we have escalation within them.
And so by pulling one of these items and having it planned be out of capital outlay, if the estimates and the bids come in lower than that, then you can still do those projects, do those improvement projects and pay for them out of the bond. We don't want to be the low bidder because then we have to come back and say we can't do something that we talked about wanting to do.
Yeah.
And so we have a conservative approach to the estimates here. So whether that's towards the end of the bond projects and you have that contingency and you're using that contingency to make those additional improvements, or if you're using capital outlay funds to pay for those items.
You can also use it to make payments on the bond as well. So that money stays within the district, that contingency. They're just there to help pad any expenses that go up in price increase, supplies, things like that, labor costs, things like that. So I think some people maybe don't understand that contingency piece, so I just want to make sure that was stated, that if the project comes under that amount, that money still stays with the district to do district projects and whatnot. So.
I have a question, and maybe I shouldn't do this. So I know there's a lot of work at the high school that needs to be done, like office area. Do we know like what that would be if regardless of the bond?
Yep, I'm getting that done right now. Terracon is coming out to scan the foundation. June 6th is when we're having our first meeting with them. They're going to scan the entire building using some geotechnical technology, and we will know a lot more about the voids underneath the building. They believe obviously water is our enemy all the time, and the way that our grade is towards the building, and then the drainage, and then some of our old roof drains that have either broke or just deteriorated over time and then have caused leaking of water. So we need to do an assessment first. I've kind of been talking to you guys about this for a while, so we're gonna get that done this summer. We do have to clear out the building and get furniture and things removed to make the quality of that assessment good and sound. So then we'll have more data to make some decisions on, is this a mud jacking project? Do we actually have to go in and fix some of the foundation itself? Are there some additional things we need to do to the yard out front, where the sidewalk and that grass piece right out front there? I think there might be some dirt work we'll need to do to push some of the drainage out towards the north, thank you, north. I'm sitting in here backwards, like, what way am I facing? To the north. So they will give some advisement on that based on that assessment. So we will know more this summer about the foundation and then some additional costs for that project. However, the office walls we're gonna need to fix them. They are these very old walls that just need to be done differently. And so I think all of that will be a piece of it, as well as securing the front entrance better, because those doors are very old and we need to have we have a small secure entrance, but we need to redo those front glass doors at some point in time.
So is that something that's also in the works, just to figure, I'm just curious, like how much that would be without the bond?
Yeah, do you guys have those individual pieces in here?
Yeah, so towards the high school secure entrance part,
So is that like so I see like where
the blue is the new construction, and so we're showing building that new out in front of it.
I mean, I feel
But that includes, so that's different.
We need to have
That's
this stuff done anyway. I mean, this stuff has to be done, I feel like.
Oh, yeah,
So
whether a bond
that's
or
what I
not,
wanna know.
it will be a capital outlay project. The thing is, those things just are gonna take time because our capital outlay is limited. So we can only do so many projects a year that cost 500, 600, 700, 800. And then the rest of that fund is also used for other things. So not everything in capital outlay just goes towards facilities. We have to pay for uniforms out of there, band instruments, sometimes custodial salaries come out of there. So it's still a fluid fund for a lot of things. And a lot of these projects are upward of $500,000, $1 million, and that completely wipes out capital outlay. So those things, it's why you have long-range plans to do those things. So if a bond does not pass, we will need to make a long-range plan to do these things over time, absolutely. So you just play that catch-up game. A lot of rural districts are in the same boat when you've got a lot of facilities and aging facilities. All of our buildings need work, every single one of them. So there's, it's just a process of prioritizing different things. We've had all the HVAC and roofs done, and we've done carpet replacements, we're doing window replacements, we've done some lighting, we've done, there's a million things we've done over time. So, and just little things that we do all the time that I don't bring to you for approval because they're just smaller things that we're doing all the time constantly to fix things and help with the problems that are just aging facilities. It's just part of it. So it's very expensive, and a bond would help if the community was willing to.
That's what I was wondering, like if it's gonna be, I mean, I have no idea how much it would
Yeah,
to fix.
but this here, it's hard to compare because they've got that whole blue piece up front
Right,
there for the middle
right.
school to be out there.
Right,
And so we would have to take that piece off that project and look at that secure entrance differently because it's not gonna look like that if we're doing it ourselves.
right.
So,
Just to clarify, so the foundation is included in this, like the fixing of the foundation is included in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm wondering, like,
Plus
it's gonna
some.
be $15,000 or $15 million to fix the front of that.
No,
You know what I'm saying, without the bond.
Mhm.
I feel like that's, more than half of
Oh, yeah.
what this is.
yeah, there's a lot of,
Do you know what I'm saying? So
There's a lot of things.
there's a lot of things going into this that are also just to
Maintenance things.
help the high school in
Also
general.
because
It's
we
an
need
it's our oldest
compliant
building.
again,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Compliance is huge
the
too.
ADA compliance is huge, I mean, there's a lot of money that's buried
Right.
into this, that's just
Mhm.
fixing facilities, not just
Yeah.
making shiny new things.
Right,
So-
right.
And as, our
Yeah.
fire inspectors were in here yesterday, and there's all sorts of new things that we have to make sure we are in compliance with and updating, and so all those things are just constantly putting the district in a position of trying to upgrade and fix and keep up with all the things, and it's hard when your capital outlay budget is limited, and it's just the way it is. It's just part of rural schools and taking care of buildings. So we do the best we can. I think we've done a lot. We've done a lot over the last couple of years. You guys have approved some very large projects. So I appreciate all that you guys have done to ensure that we're trying to keep up with the best that we can. We also have Clayton here. So if you guys have any questions on the election, a month to call an election, the pros and cons of all these things. He's here to answer questions, also the financing aspect of it and how that would work. So if you want to share anything to kind of get it started, they can ask questions.
Sure, yeah. As we've talked about from the financing plan side, that school districts in Kansas have the ability to finance bonds for up to a 30-year period. In order to reduce the mill levy impact as much as possible, the mill levy increase associated with this particular bond election, that's what we're currently reflecting in the financial plan is a 30-year financing. A lot of districts approve that. I think with interest rates today, you're not going to see a huge difference between a 30-year or 25-year or 20-year financing rate. The biggest difference becomes interest payments that you're making over that period. I will say that we also take a very cautious approach, similar to what Maria mentioned with contingency, with interest rates in that financial plan, as well as assessed valuation or tax-based growth in the financial plan, which puts a lot of districts in the position of being able to pay off bonds early. And so the interesting thing about bonds is typically after 7 years, you're able to start prepaying on that if you have additional funds in your bond and interest fund early at no penalty. So a lot of districts take advantage of that. Current markets today, you're probably looking at 4.5% to 5% for an interest rate on a 30-year financing. I believe we're using 5 to 5.5% in our plan of finance for the numbers that we're sharing and the mill levy impact that we're sharing. For a $26 million bond financed over 30 years, we're estimating a mill levy increase of 13.825 for a $100,000 home. Per month, that's about $13.25, and it's proportional impact. So for a $200,000 home, just double that, $26.50. As we get closer to the election, we can help provide information on an individual basis. If you have questions about your specific property tax impact, we're happy to share what that 13.825 mils means to you, whether you own commercial, ag land, houses. A question that a lot of times we get is motor vehicles. That one's a little bit more difficult to estimate because it's based on your average county mill levy. So what we typically see in terms of impact of motor vehicle taxes, very minimal, even with a large individual mill levy increase for one taxing entity just because of the way it's calculated. So a little interesting tidbit there on impact of motor vehicles, but
that estimate right there is based on a 1% assessed valuation growth.
Yep.
Okay, so if that is higher, if assessed valuation, property by county has told us that we're now valued at this, what does that mean then for those mill rates?
Yeah, so I mean, just a perfect example, and Faith, thank you for pointing that out. So over the last 5 years, your district has grown at over 5% per year. So small changes in that assessed valuation over 30 years makes huge differences. And we're assuming 1% being very cautious for that entire 30-year period. So I don't have an exact amount.
Sure, I just wanted to state that so people understood what that was based on.
And it really, it gives you as a board the ability, a lot of districts, as I mentioned earlier, when you're taking these cautious assumptions, if you decide, it's up to you as a board to each year to decide to keep that mill levy constant as your assessed valuation grows, or reduce it from year to year dependent on assessed valuation growth. If you keep it constant at the mill levy that you had communicated with patrons during the election throughout the entire plan of finance, and you grow at more than that 1% assessed valuation growth rate, you're gonna be in a very good position to essentially pay off bonds early with those excess funds. So like I said, over the last probably 20 years, there's been a lot of districts that have taken advantage of that plan of finance. Election day, so you're considering either an August or a November election. The deadline to call an August election is next month, so early May. Essentially, either option. I think it's the decision on that is really by district on what you feel more comfortable with. General election typically brings out more voters. Maria can also maybe touch on just some benefits in terms of a bond campaign of what an August election versus what a November election looks like. As you can see from this slide, obviously an August election does likely come with some inflation in cost. From a financial plan, it brings additional uncertainty, another 3 months of uncertainty before you lock in interest rates. But we've seen, this another kind of interesting fact, statewide election history, about 60% of elections are successful the first time around. So we don't see a huge difference month by month of when you call the election, that success rate. I think it really is just individually from a campaign perspective, how you go about communicating your project, communicating your plan of finance, and what your individuals in your community are willing to support for that project. So something to keep in mind, but either way, the current plan of finance that we have set up is appropriate from a assumption standpoint, whether or not you pursue an August versus a November election.
Can we ask a question back here?
I have another question for you too. So our current bond that we have, it's rolling off in 28, and there is a benefit to go ahead and like roll over into another bond rather than stopping and then having to start a new one later, right? Correct? Like,
Yeah,
what are
so
the benefits of rolling over?
Absolutely, yeah. So a lot of districts take advantage of, especially in your situation where you can utilize your existing bond and interest funds towards your existing payments on your the cash balance in your bond and interest funds towards your existing payments.
Right.
what that allows you to then do is what you are doing, taking advantage of trying to finance a project earlier, reducing the cost of potential inflation, but also amortize principal. So that's where that mill levy increase that we talk about, the 13.8 mils,
Yeah.
that plus your existing mill levy will help with your existing bond payment and your new bond payment over that time period. So a lot of districts take advantage of that as early as they possibly can, depending on the project they're considering.
So the 13.825 is stagnant. It's not like in 28 when the other one rolls
Correct.
off, that 4 would drop. It stays from
Yeah.
whenever.
It's simply your existing mill levy, plus that, what we're communicating as the mill levy increase, those two combined now becomes your total bond and interest mill levy for debt service payments on your existing debt through 2028, and then on your new bonds. We're able to wrap the new bonds so that we can have shorter payments through 2028, and then after 2028, the total payment between both existing bonds and new money should be pretty much equal
Yeah.
throughout that 30-year period.
And then the district can make decisions about expenses and our budget changes and making fluctuations in our mills and our other funds, and then, or keeping them where they are to also pay off early, do some other things. So those are decisions we can make over time as we adjust our budget and our expenses to try to reconfigure into 2 campuses and whatnot. So there's also some budgeting pieces to this as well, and financial planning down the road for our in-house expenses and outside of the bond as well. So if that makes sense.
These projects in 28 would likely be at least 10% more than what they are now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, if you guys took,
Yeah, I just had a quick question. So is what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is you're going with a 2-building configuration?
there's not been a bond resolution made this time, no.
Well, that's all
all
you're
you're
discussing
addressing.
and that's all you've shown.
They've discussed quite a few already, so.
Well,
And you just mentioned when we go to a 2-building.
yeah,
We haven't voted on it yet.
okay. And then my
This is what-
follow-up question then is, I would like to see a floor plan of how you utilize Scranton. Because I was told that all things were considered, but I've never seen a floor plan of how you would utilize this building, the newer building.
Right, do you guys still have those available? Because those were done early on in our discussion.
Yeah, I would encourage you to go back.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
I've
last 2 years.
gone back, I've gone back.
Yeah, there's hours and hours and hours, I'm sure.
Well, give me a date, because I've gone
I
back.
couldn't even begin to give you dates.
Which is why
Because-
we're requesting it here. So the decorum from the board should be to appease the question that's asked. So if it's not easily accessible, then.
It's easily accessible, right? Everything's online?
Yes, if there's additional things we can get, we can. I do wanna state this, for some clarification, I know that during the steering committee meetings, there was a lot of discussion around what buildings we would close, which ones we would not. We talked about size of buildings, we talked about, transportation, we talked about, where we could fit everybody to get a full elementary school with all of our kids, as well as get a middle school somewhere where we felt the facilities were appropriate. And I think after the steering committee's time and efforts, they came to, I think, an agreement to recommend, or at least the majority, because we kind of voted on it, that Scranton and Overbrook would be the ones closed if we did a 2-campus, Scranton would be the one closed if we did a 3-campus, or all of them closed if they went for the 1 campus. So I know that those recommendations kind of came out of that process throughout time, so.
So with the petition that was filed and the people stepping forward with questions, additional questions, wouldn't it be worth it on the Pro 2 campus, the Pro 3 campus as well, to revisit that to strengthen your case as well as justification to why your plan was thought out and justified? Because Scranton hasn't been considered and put into consideration on that, and in the budgeting building explanations, there's no breakdown even for the buildings of what actually, there's no transparency
of that. You've just mentioned that this reconfiguration is the improvements that need to be made, but there's not a lot of information in the reconfigurations. So.
Like expenditures, you mean, of the cost of
Right,
running each building?
like
Yeah.
you're not saying this needs to be fixed here, this needs to be fixed here to compare to this in terms of we can fix that, but we also have this building that we can do here. So if we have all of these clashing heads coming through with ideas, then why aren't we trying to CYA on both sides? Put as much information out there, be transparent, be accountable, show that information. Because that's where you're at now, whether you wanna force an election or not. You shouldn't be afraid of having that information out there and making it a battle.
I don't think we've been afraid at
I
all.
don't think we've been afraid at all, and I
It's
feel
been
like
talked
we've
about
been
for years, we had a steering
transparent.
committee, you guys were all invited.
All right, hold on.
Just
Hey,
tell
hold
us
on.
when.
So,
It's been out there.
When? Tell me when.
Every single meeting for about 2 years.
But you yourself
Plus
just said
the
you wouldn't
steering-
even know where to start, so
Because
if you
it's
want
been every
everything
single
so
meeting
long.
for the past 2
all right,
years.
hey, we're moving on. We're moving on.
Can I just have a couple
So-
questions, a couple more questions. Okay, so my first one is
So consideration to call an election.
our school funding formula is set to expire in like, July 1st,
Tanner, go
2027. If this bond issue passes before July 1st of 2027, and then the funding formula, like, if the funding formula changes, does it affect a bond that's already been approved?
I think that.
The funding
Mr.
formula will
that
affect
Piper Sandler just
FTE
indicated-
sped, those things, but not the bond interest.
Yeah, there's no way to,
Not the,
we don't have clarity on that yet.
It will affect FTE, which goes into our general fund, and then that's the percentage that we collect with LOB, so it will affect that, but, you wanna talk more to that?
We don't have clarity on that yet.
But that's okay, that was just my, and my second question was, because I do know that you guys have been talking about this for a long time. Has there ever been an enrollment assessment done for our district? Because through these conversations, at least, I mean, all of them, but especially, since it's been intensified, especially with the closure of Scranton, the enrollment is dropping, it is declining. That is, you guys have been very transparent about that, it is happening. How fast is it happening? Is this feasible? Are any of these, I'm concerned, like, in 30 years from now, and not even that, in 5 years from now, in 5 years from now, what is our enrollment going to look like?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
We discussed that as well, and having room in case it does get higher
But like,
again.
where's that assessment?
So the data was out there, I have the paper here, I don't know what date this was, I don't think it has a date on it. It's talking about projected enrollment in 25, so it would have been at least last year. It goes from 2002 to 2030, we also had data going back to 94, I think 94, 95 might have been the last time that we saw.
Yeah, I
any
guess
kind of
I'm looking
increase,
for
so-
like a more, like a, almost like a study, like almost like an appraisal, like several pages with all sorts of data.
So Kansas Association of School Boards is, we are a member school, and they do this work for schools. They have an entire website and, studies on counties, studies on state, studies on each individual districts, rural versus urban, growth, landlocked, lots of data points. They provided a lot of the enrollment stuff I pulled, as well as my own study of ours over time over the last 30 years. So the trend data has been given to us both by my own investigation with the board and the steering committee, as well as Kansas Association of School Boards. So
So is that like in a report? I'm
Yeah.
asking because like DeSoto has like a really nice one that they did. It is posted on their website, on their school website, and they did just pass a bond issue. So it was really helpful as just, I'm not, and nobody really compared to like in DeSoto, I don't care what happens there. But it was really neat to go there and read through it.
yeah, and they did a huge study on it based on that plan, that
That's
Panasonic
kind of
plan
what
that
I'm
was there,
looking for.
and the growth and the movement. But they had to prepare very quickly for a very quick, what I would call boom into their area. So I know that they did a very quick study. I think they hired a firm to come in and do
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, like
enrollment
an
study based on
independent
that growth.
something that is on our
What did it
website
show,
that
I
would
guess?
help?
That's what
I think it does projections on economic development and what that does for our school districts, but it was based on the growth of the economy, based on the Panasonic plant and how many workers were coming in, all sorts of things, how many children based on birth rate of those families moving in, things like that.
But you did have one too, like that's in our notes somewhere at one of the meetings, but you projected how many years out?
Right, and even if we
I
would
guess
get.
I'm looking for like an independent, like first, like to be very specific, I'm looking for like a third party, independent study.
Yes, we did not pay a firm to do it.
Right, so, okay, and then where is that on the website?
I will say on the enrollment or on the reconfiguration site in the steering committees, there is a file linked under the files that's got enrollment numbers for the 22, 23, 23, 24, 25, all the way, like those 4 years.
Yeah,
And
and it's
it
showing a
gives
steady
you
decline.
that-
I just wanna
that
make sure
trend.
that in 5, 10 years, even 5 years, this is, we can afford this.
And so to speak on that a little bit, Libby, so Maria had talked to us at one of the meetings that even if we would get a big boom, I guess in our economy, we get a major influx of families and things like that. I can't remember the numbers exactly that you gave us.
Yeah,
I don't know if
the
it was-
number of kids, so, if you have a classroom size of 25, if you bring in a new family and they have 3 kids, and then you bring in another family, they have 3 more kids, how many families it takes to add up to a grade level classroom, or grade levels
And so-
across all the grades.
We could pour it out.
Like, it's,
Yeah, I don't know, Libby, are you asking about not an increase? You're asking about a decrease?
Maria, can you pull up the
I
Carbondale school, would you?
The
Just
which
picture the Carbondale school?
Yeah.
Cause it has like the flex buildings listed on there, right? Or the rooms.
Yeah.
So like on this right here, like all of these rooms that say like flex on them, like
She's asking about a decrease.
She's asking about a decrease.
oh, a decrease? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, people have been
Oh,
asking
you're
about
asking
an
a
increase.
decrease
in
what we pay for
So
that.
I apologize.
I'm asking for a decrease.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
preparing. for
I'm
these.
sorry, I thought you were asking increase. Okay.
I'm asking for a decrease. Or we have kids to put in these classrooms, or we have kids to use these
Well, I have all these
extra
down to
gyms and
3
these
classrooms versus the 4. So we have it down to 3 classrooms per grade level, all the way up, which we've been 4 for many, many years. At one point, we had 5 in a couple of grade levels. So we have projected that out at 3. So I guess if we went down to 2 classrooms, those types of things, that's possible over time. But I think that's no different than 4 campuses right now and the declining enrollment we're having now and the same things we're facing right now with 4 capacity. So I think that the fewer campuses we have, the fewer operations we have that we can offset some of that FTE loss is that our expenses can go down in other ways. I'm not paying insurance for 4 buildings. We're not paying for the operations of operating this many kitchens and all the staff members. So there's a lot of operational things that I believe in the expenses that can offset. And we're already preparing for that. We've already absorbed some positions. So this is not something we're just changing right now. It's been ongoing, trying to find ways to offset our declining enrollment each year as we've lost, $300,000 here, $400,000 there in FTE. We've absorbed staff members. We've cut a few contracts we had. We've had, multiple things that we've just done over time that don't even consider this bond because we know, maybe the bond won't pass and that's very possible. So we still have to prepare for those things. So we're thinking about that and making decisions every day. Our budget is working every day and
It's just really hard to hear content about this declining enrollment. It's disappointing in general, but it's not your fault. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just trying to justify that expansion at the high school is pretty and big. It's big. It's really big. And just justifying it all, I was looking at the high risk, the high risk for lunches. Osage County is typically, we're a poor county in general. Knowing the data on just like how many live in poverty, keeping all of that in mind, I guess is really this is where I'm coming from. Like,
And it's a rock and a hard place, because
We do, we have a declining enrollment, but we also have several old buildings, you know, that across the school district, and I know we're talking about in the newest building, I understand that. But we also have to do upkeep, and we've got foundation problems. We're not ADA compliant right now in 2 of our buildings, which is a lot of money to fix those things. And so I think it'd be irresponsible for us not to be looking at running another bond issue at the bare minimum to fix problems.
And the sharing of resources between the
Right.
junior high students with the high school, which we all felt would,
100%.
would provide more opportunities.
That's like another issue, like, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a big buy-in, okay, like, I've been there, my kids, I was really hoping, like, that the 4th grader, my son, would not be in Carbondale. I'm sure that we, you know, there's more than
we feel that.
So, to get me to buy in to having 6, this is, look, I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting you guys off topic, and I apologize, but it's just, as a parent, not just like a taxpayer, it's gonna be a big buy-in. Like, that is, 4th is a big difference than 8th, and a 6th grader is a huge difference from a 12th grader. So, to know how poorly the transition was with what it's currently at, it's gonna take a bit to get me to buy in to how great it's gonna be to have the junior high out the high school. And that's it. So those are my comments. Thank you for letting me.
Thank you for the constructive conversation.
I'm not trying to spew it, but these are the things that I'm. Yeah, I want one campus. I want one campus, but
yeah. And we do, honestly, I do too. I would have one
I do.
campus. But financially, we're talking about.
I think the other thing that is very important to bring up is that we wanted to try to make the junior high as separate from the high school as possible, but still sharing the resources because of those concerns. That was something that was brought up over and over again in the steering committee.
So they would be run like on different bell schedules and things like that, so. Well, they actually will not share a hallway.
No, it has a kind
The
of.
junior high has its own hallway.
not next to any CTE classrooms.
Can you pull it?
It's okay, I'll look at it, I can look at it. I thought last month when I looked at it, they were sharing, I really thought they were sharing a hallway, but I will go back, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay, yeah,
No,
I don't wanna get it.
Cause that was a big concern too with.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of that will be operational scheduling type stuff, master scheduling, all sorts of things, so yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's just, I know, it's just relationships are important, a bond issue's gonna be hard to pass in general, I understand that. I just wanna lift us all up, all of our communities up together.
And that's
We
what
gotta do this, and that's,
That's what we want too, it's just trying to figure out how to get that done the most effective way
And still be respectful of,
Right.
you know, communities and
I don't
things
wanna
like
impose
that.
anything, but I don't feel like we have a choice, I feel like it's, we're responsible not to, based on, where we're at.
Yeah, you guys, you guys gotta, these are really hard, cause my other argument would be, I don't wanna dump money into Overbrook and Carbondale if we're gonna close them in 15 years.
Right.
Yep.
But
I agree.
So you talked about that.
That's not, that doesn't make much sense either, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick,
I just want to quickly say that I heard somebody start to talk about the number of additional resources that would be available to kids that we have this campus. We sat through the reconfiguration of sending the Scranton kids over junior high to Carbondale, and we heard about all these wonderful programs they're gonna be able to take, and foreign languages and other electives, zero. None of it ever happened, not one single class. So, you have to realize that we've been burned about the additional resources that will be available to them. My other question is, and it doesn't matter if you pass a bond issue, if you build a school or not, where are the kids going? I understand reduction in birth rate, but where are they going? Are they going to other districts? Are they more kids homeschooling?
All of the above.
Churches opening their own schools?
All of the above.
Too. And don't we need to find out where they're going and what we can do to try to put our finger in the dye?
But you also have to look at, we have a lot of out-of-district school kids here.
State Commissioner of Education, he said, you know, we have to do something to get these kids back at our schools for at least one or two things that make them want to be there more of the day. And instead of a mentality that, well, they're gone and can't do anything about that.
So 7 school districts, I just wanted, just for a little bit of context on what you're saying, private schools, home schools, and public schools. 7 schools out of all schools in Kansas had increasing enrollment. The rest were either flat or declined this past school year.
I wanna know what school,
So
what they're doing.
So the study they went over said that there's an exodus from rural schools and into urban. However, there's an exodus out of Kansas, birth rates, and then the trends that go like this all the time with homeschool and private schools.
But we know that we have kids in this district who are going out of district.
Yes, and we also have
We have a
many that
church
come
in
here.
this district open their own school. And I think those are the things that we need to find out.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have a school.
We talked to a
we're
lot of
gonna
the
be able
kids that go to our home schools, or to the private school, and some go back and forth, and that fluctuates. I think there's some value-based pieces to that as well, which is okay.
Yeah, but I just think, you know, if the faucet's leaking, we need to find out why it's leaking and what's causing it. Otherwise, it's not gonna serve us to build a nice new school, and the kids keep going.
Yeah, let's start off.
Thank you.
I think we're doing that.
Yeah.
We are. Okay.
Thank you. All right, thank you guys very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
8.3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's give it 8.1 and 8.4.
Is Karen coming back?
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know if he
No.
left.
Do you want to get him on the phone? Do you guys have any other questions for them before the next action item?
No, that's what we're talking about.
I don't.
last. Yeah,
We're talking
the consideration.
for the next one.
Yeah.
Do you want to wait for?
Well, I think he's gonna call.
If we
and
can
see
get
if
him
he's
on the
coming
phone.
back. But
I'd say we get it done. And try to-
Anything else?
thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Do I need you to stay for the next? Okay, no? Okay, all right. We gotta, if you have the language, yeah, they have language.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Oh, I didn't.
He's gonna be.
Can you be on the phone for a vote? No?
Is he back at home?
He'll be.
Do we want to recess the delegates, or do you want him to be?
Yeah, I can take her.
I mean, do you not?
I mean, you say a little bit, like,
I think so, but I don't know.
and like 20 minutes a little bit, or are you saying
I don't
like
know, I don't
hours?
think it's known yet. So, I don't, yeah, so why don't we take 15 to see if we can get a hold of them, see if we
Okay.
can get a timeline, and we'll
Okay.
go from there. So I'll make a motion that we take a brief recess to contact Tanner, see if we can get the timeline to, see if he'll be able to make it for the next agenda item.
I'll second it.
All right, motion.
Do we need a
second.
specific time?
We'll go 15 minutes, we'll go.
Do you need to do the specific time for, or just 15 minutes?
15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay.
15 minutes. Motion, second. Favor?
Okay, we'll try to call him.
just chaos, but
Okay.
anyway.
Okay.
Okay, sorry guys.
No problem.
Where are we at now? You said we are at 8-3, so, go ahead, pick up where you left off, I guess.
So,
We have it.
next one is a consideration, we just stopped to see if there's a consideration to call, so.
Okay.
Someone just has to make a motion. If
Everybody
they want
got their questions answered, I guess? Yes, I didn't, I wasn't here, and that's my fault.
to. That's okay.
Any questions that we can help fill in?
I was, I guess I was kind of talking to Justin, we got that email that said that there was a possible 3%.
For November, or sorry, for August, yeah.
Yeah.
She just talked about contingency and making sure there was enough money to pay for whatever cost increases there may be by the time, and whatever interest rates are in our financing plans to cover it. And then all that, let's say it is under budget, then all that money goes back to the district to either put towards a bond payment or put towards any additional things we need to do, capital outlay projects. So it's all in the district. It's just a padding, I guess, that they use based on percentage of cost increase that I'm assuming they consumer price index and other things that they use their metrics. So I can ask them any questions you have. I'd be happy to do that.
Well, that was just the latest thing that I had seen, and the last time I questioned them on contingency, they said that they was always on target except for COVID. And then when we didn't do it, it seemed like all of a sudden they come up with another 3%. And I roughly did some math in my head, and that's a lot of money. So we went from, hey, we brought this to you, and we're always rock solid on our contingency and everything, and now we're not. That just to me, that was a question.
So you didn't think
Why are
by
we not
pushing
now?
it back, that
But
there
they
should have
did-
been inflation?
Right, cause they
What's
did
that?
tell us if we didn't run it, right?
Yeah, they
I mean,
told us
they
that
told
from
us
the-
that from the get-go,
I guess
right,
that's
that-
where my question is, you
Yeah.
didn't think by pushing it back that there would be inflation?
Well, I mean, obviously things are higher now, we got a lot of.
Even in the
look at
last-
gas right now.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, but, you know, they talked like even during COVID with supply issues, they was able to kind of squeeze things through, so it just caught me off guard.
Sure, yeah, I understand that. And contingency, I guess the way I understood it was more of a
If
pad.
we didn't do it and things go down, are they gonna reduce it
Well, that's,
4% next month?
that's the other
right.
thing.
I'd like to know that, I guess.
If we, let's say we came under budget by $1 million.
Right.
Do we, and the bond was for 25 million.
Sure.
Can we make it so that we only take 24 million and that would only increase the mill levy by X?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think
No,
so.
it's
You
what's,
gotta
it's
take
the
what
dollar
you
amount that's
vote on.
voted on. It's what's voted on, yeah.
And then, but we can take that extra money that didn't
Yes,
get
that's
spent.
And you
still
can pay
ours.
towards the bond, which can help you pay off the bond earlier, which then will affect the mill
But we
levies.
can't do that till 7 years in, right?
Sure, but,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, but over time, I mean, it's a 30-year bond, so
Right, no, I
all the
understand.
things, all the financing things we can do over 30 years,
Mhm.
I mean, there's potential we could pay it off in 20 years, you know, we
Right,
could pay it
yeah.
off. So there'll be some budgetary pieces to it as well, in addition, but the contingency just piece in itself, yes, if we're under budget, then that money just goes back to the district to do all these things, and some of those things that we said we'll do in capital outlay, if we're under, then we can go ahead and pay for them, and they're in there, so.
So basically, for every 6 months that we wait, there's a potential for 3% increase for contingency.
She just gave me the numbers for August and November.
Which November was 3%.
One more percent, it was 3% for August, and then another 1.7% for November. And I'm sure that's based on some industry standards of some kind. I'm sure they've got square foot costs that they look at every probably 6 months. I don't know what they're, but I can ask those questions.
Well, I talked to some people that have used HDK and they had raving reviews about HDK, like real world experience. So it made me feel better, actually.
Well, and I know Mission Valley used HDK through their whole process.
Many
Yeah.
districts use them.
Yeah, and I know.
They are experts in school projects. And there's a lot of construction companies that's all they do is schools, and they know schools, they know how to schedule around schools and school events and school time and how to do the timelines, and so, I mean, there's people just in the school work, so yeah. Other questions?
I mean, I think we've discussed it for a long time, and I think, I know I'm ready to put it to a vote. Okay. How about anyone else?
I'm ready to vote on it too.
Any other, do you want me to just make a motion,
I
or
mean,
what?
I guess at a certain point, so we're making a motion on what? When and what? What, the two campus? What are we talking about, motion for which option?
So is that something that has to be decided,
Yeah, so you have to make a motion to call an election that I think is all
Right.
written here for you. The project, which is the 2 campus project, that bond amount, and the date, correct? I think that's what's all in there.
That's in the paperwork, but the resolution,
Yeah, and then read the resolution.
yes, the resolution is the calling of the election and use capital outlay. For general, capital improvement, state aid is the terms, but that's in the resolution that needs to be.
I wish we had some of this stuff back in the high school. Just because I feel like it's gonna be $15 million to fix that. Doing everything that we would like to do for the 2 campuses is only $23 million. Are those things we're gonna have to do anyway?
They are, but we'll still have to run the bond. Does that change the bond? Is that what you're asking?
Well, it
Yeah,
changes what we could
Such a big
do
portion
with
of
it, is what you're
50%.
saying. And I know
we
you're
have
pulling
to
this money out of your butt, but I'm curious, do we have some kind of estimate on possibly what a foundation would cost, what it looks like?
I'm just thinking
And we're not gonna know that until they do the assessment.
Right,
I
and
gotta
that's,
find out
I didn't know if there
what's
was
going
any
on.
idea, like, if there'd be.
And then it's also gonna depend on what we all do, fixing the foundation, we're fixing the doors, fixing the walls in the offices, there's lots of different.
There's
lots
lots of things that
we
have to happen.
And it's gonna happen regardless, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if these things have to be done regardless, and it's gonna be $15 million.
But we're not gonna know.
I
We're
know,
not
that's what I'm
gonna know
saying,
that,
I wish
though.
I knew that now, because then I would have an easier time, I don't know, justifying the 23 million when we're gonna have to spend $15 million no matter what to fix it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from.
Where did we get 23? I thought it was
I don't know where
26.
Or,
26.
I thought it was 23, but the
25.
23 was
Just
just
making
the,
stuff up.
wasn't that just the high school part?
Yes.
That's what I'm
That's the high
saying,
school part.
the 23, yeah.
The high school total
The high school total was the 23.
was the 23.
Yeah.
And the 3 was the current.
Right,
I see.
that's where I was thinking.
And then what was you saying when you said it depends on what all we do? What do you mean by that?
She asked me if I had an estimate for, if we don't pass the bond, what it will cost to fix the foundation issues at the high
That we
school.
would be doing anyway.
Yeah, that we're gonna have to do anyway.
Yeah.
So there's assessment June 6th to determine.
Oh, sorry, you weren't
there.
here.
Yeah, so you weren't here for the,
Okay, so
that east wall in the office where and to see what the damage is or what is
And what
gonna be
exactly
necessary
is-
to
And there's
fix
some
that.
of that's coming out of capital outlay. We pulled some greens that were out of capital outlay
But no.
and then reds that could potentially be capital outlay versus part of the bond.
Right.
But only the greens were pulled.
She just wanted to know if I had a good estimate for the foundation fixing if we didn't do it a bond, if we did it ourselves. I don't have that, and what
Yeah.
HDK has on there includes an addition as well as a foundation, so that's all
Well,
lumped in
there's
there.
fixing all of that we may have to.
Yeah,
that we-
but it's also they're coming out further too and
Yes,
adding a whole new
yes,
hallway.
right.
So,
That's what I'm saying, we're gonna have to do it anyway, it's gonna be a different scope, but yeah, that's what.
But you're saying we don't know how much that is. I thought we had an estimate on that.
That's what I wanted to know.
on the full foundation issue, no, I don't have an estimate, cause I don't, no.
Well, and really, it's not just the foundation, it's the wall,
That's all of that.
It's all of that.
But we also have like all of those in red too that we had talked about capital outlay, so we could always pull
HTK
if
has,
needed.
sorry. What they have is in that scope of their project, not what I,
3.4.
yeah,
3.5.
3.5 million for
Just
secure entry, the office foundation and the office
Adding.
work remodel,
And
and the middle school addition. That total is 3.5.
to add the whole blue middle school hallway plus.
This,
All just the front
this,
part.
right, all this right here is all like a
3.5,
remodel
and I thought
and
it was
all new construction. Blue's new construction, yellow's all remodel. So this total.
Pretty
here
good, yeah. 9, yeah, because that's what the high school needs regardless of what we do with secure entry and the
So
use
that
of
would be,
foundation.
you're looking at probably close to 15 then. If you're talking 9 million for foundation and then.
That was for secure entry and everything.
Right.
That was basically.
Which I
to
would
do
recommend
just
you
the high
eventually
school.
do.
Where-
Those
I
doors have
agree.
gotta be fixed.
No, I
Yes,
agree
that's what
with
we're
you.
talking about. Yeah.
Well, I would like to make a motion to do the 2 campus. I think it's the most plausible thing for us to do. I don't know if you guys have any more questions before I actually make a whole motion.
I thought you were making it. My apologies.
Do you
Sorry,
have those
yeah, it's
numbers?
just-
You don't have the numbers on what it would be for the repairs, it's just 3 point something for the addition.
It's in there.
It includes
Yeah,
the
we had
remodel
a-
of the office and the addition. It's not broken down into itemized little pieces. There it says,
Didn't you say, what do you say, it's 9 million just to?
I feel like this is what she's talking about.
he wants to know what it is just to do the repairs versus the secure entrance and all of that. I should have had HVAC stay.
But that's
my fault.
3.5.
I should just have him stay.
But that, so if we do that, do we not have to do the foundation repairs, or will
They
just?
said that was included,
Yeah, we
right?
have to do foundation
Yeah,
repairs
yeah,
regardless.
but that's, it was included in that bond.
In this $3.5 million?
Yes.
I'm assuming they've
3.5
probably
or
done
the 9.
foundation work before.
Yes.
It has to be fixed.
They've had to have
Guess
done it
what?
before, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Look at all the schools they've,
They did say that it was part of the.
they said ours was not the worst school they've ever.
Yeah.
Did say that, remember?
I mean, surely it can't be 6, because I don't see where 6 would be in here anywhere.
Estimation, we're thinking 9.
Right,
even nine.
for everything at the high school though, like that was the secure entry,
Yes.
foundation repair,
Yeah, so everything for the front part of the high school?
not
Or everything?
just if nothing
So not the
changed
six.
today, let's say that there were 4
Right.
buildings and
Okay,
you're running it as
gotcha.
9
This
was
is
what
what
the
had
high
to
school
be.
was
Yeah,
gonna
it was
need
everything.
to go through.
$9 million,
But
but that was for the front entrance.
That was,
Foundation.
yeah,
The things that had to be, really have to be.
and probably included the dome stuff and
Mhm.
the roof.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, those
So
are
what
the
you're seeing is
necessities.
12.6 or whatever on the old one is probably where that 9 was.
I had 11 in my head, Justin.
So
I thought.
basically, we just say,
That was because causing all.
say we'll spend this much money. And if they had said we'll do 6,
That was.
we'll have to retire.
No, but I feel like they,
Comfortable with asking the public for
I thought from what I understood,
Is that where I got it from?
this,
That's the old one, but that was
23 on
for,
here,
you know, doing some of the
the
stuff.
fixing
as well.
everything did.
It does, it does. I think that's all estimated in there.
Yeah, that's what you were.
But what if come June 6th, it says that won't cover it?
I mean, she said it, well, she told us it did.
Then why, how do they know?
Cause they've probably done it before. I mean, I would think, they've been doing this for how many years?
I thought you said they had to do an assessment on June 6th.
We are having that.
I'm having that done.
You are,
Yep, I am.
okay. Just because you are, they haven't done nothing?
I'm having that assessment done as a piece of data to see what the foundation issues are.
Okay. I get, that's where I'm confused, I guess.
Okay.
To see what the foundations are and what it's gonna take to fix them.
Well, I was hoping it was gonna be data that could be helpful for if we need to mud jack something right now or keep the walls from falling down, right now, so.
It's a temporary fix.
Yeah, I talked to you guys about that a couple of times already, and I thought I don't know, I think I heard from a couple of you, but,
I know.
I don't have to move forward with it. I can wait.
How much is the evaluation?
It's about $8,000.
$800.
8,000.
I don't know.
But I can hold on that too, it's not a big deal.
No, that's what confused me when you talked like they had built into that to do those repairs, and then you said you needed to do that. That's a separate thing. You're talking.
It's just an assessment to give me a bigger picture, to give us a bigger picture. Yeah.
Well,
So basically what
So
your
it doesn't
concern
fall
is-
before we get it.
So basically what your concern is though, is we're gonna dig in and not sure what's under there. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like, we're like HDK, like, we're not sure what we're digging into?
yeah,
Kinda like
that's what
the
I'm
contingency.
worried about is we're saying we need this much money to fix it, but we don't really know. That's my concern.
I mean, I feel like that was
Maybe
what's a
it's-
contingency
Maybe that's a stupid question. but
money
if
that
you
they're talking about.
Take all that and you put all that new hallway on there, is it just gonna, you'll still have to fix the
Well,
foundation?
no, the
right?
foundation has to
Foundation's
be
getting
fixed,
fixed,
and they know
period.
the foundation has to be fixed,
Yeah.
like, that was
Yeah,
part
I
of
guess I
the
thought that was
needs
just part of the
assessment and
estimate of
everything.
what a foundational fix would
I
be,
mean-
so, but, yeah, I don't.
I mean, yeah, I just assumed she'd probably done it before on like another school, and that's
Well, we
how
have,
they know the numbers.
unfortunately, we have to trust them because none of us really know exactly how much something costs or is worth or.
Well, like I said, I mean, they've done this a lot of times and have had a lot of success with a lot of schools, so I don't know. I feel like I trust them at this point, but.
No, I agree.
So what have they done to investigate it, the foundation issues?
I don't know internally, I haven't asked them that specific question. I know they've talked to their engineers, and they've talked to the people that came out and did the facilities assessment that marked that as, so they did all that study on our facilities assessment. And they have engineers that, looked at the facilities assessment as well, so that's, I do know that piece. They suggested Terracon, as an additional piece of data that we could look at, so, I brought that to you guys, I don't know, at the beginning of the school year, and then waited on it a little bit, and so then I thought it'd be an additional good piece of information if it was something that required. I think part of it was to determine, how big the void is, how much of a void there is, and if it's.
That's what they've done. That's how they come up with their estimate. Somebody has looked at that, they've core drilled and cameraed or.
We have core drilled and we have cameraed already.
And that's what
we've
they
determined,
use.
and we've determined that there's some drains that are broke,
Okay.
and there's a water issue under there. We're just not sure.
So they have done it. Nobody just says, I've got x-ray vision.
They
and
didn't
looked at
do
the
it,
floor
though.
and said it
No.
needs to be fixed
Sorry.
underneath. That's what.
I thought you were asking what they did.
No,
They
that's
didn't do
why I'm
that.
asking.
We did it, yes, we
We
did it.
Somebody has
Yeah.
looked at it and they have something.
Sorry.
to do about it.
Sorry, I thought you were asking what.
No, you're not crazy, Tina, these are great questions.
I thought you meant what HDK did. Sorry.
That's what I said.
HDK didn't do that. We went ahead and did that.
We've had it done and they've looked at the stuff.
Yes, and
That's
they came in and they cameraed it, and we've got pictures. They determined if there's some water. We're just not sure how big the hole is.
I was.
So there's some different ways to determine how big the void is. They talked about.
Also for
I like this, it's gonna fall in tomorrow.
I just,
That's some what.
so it wasn't included, so.
Before we
Yeah.
get to construction, like,
Yeah.
we're good, we're safe.
I was also worried that if a bond doesn't pass and we're waiting and waiting on this, if we need to do some temporary flowable fill or some mud jacking, just some preventative things to keep I mean, those walls, Kyle and Chris might be underneath them soon. So that's why I brought that up to you guys at the beginning of the school year as something, just to get some extra data. They are. I mean, there's a space this big between the ceiling and Kyle's office and Chris's, and then in the SRO's room, and then Melissa's is kind of sloping in that back piece of her room. So I did it as a piece of data. I thought we talked on the phone about it a little bit on just if that was a good idea to do that.
If we don't do a bond or it doesn't pass, we still gotta maintain it. So what's-
Yeah, and I think the data will be helpful so we know what we have to do, especially if we have to do something right away.
That was I wasn't
Sorry.
tracking.
I
wanted to
wasn't
make sure
either.
that they
I wasn't
just
tracking
saying,
you well.
We think we have a problem. If somebody's done some investigation, they've done, and they kinda have an idea.
Yeah.
that's better than just looking at the ground and
Yeah.
saying.
Sorry, I wasn't tracking you well.
Right, well, I mean,
No, 1,000%.
Yeah,
That's what I
so-
wanted to know is what, like, we're gonna have to do this anyway. That's what I wanted to know.
I guess I thought the question was how much they estimated based on what they've done to study these numbers right here. And what I know is what we've done and told them is going on, and then they recommended again, Terracon to get just a broader picture, in case we need to do something right away, like mud jack or flowable fill, those are suggestions they made, so.
So it doesn't
My apologies.
completely fall in
We're
before.
all on the same page.
At the end of the day, it's in the taxpayers' hands.
Absolutely.
They're gonna have to tell us whether they wanna do this or not.
Yeah.
Correct.
I know we get.
I know that's why, that's why they have elections for bonds.
We wanna do, but.
Yeah, it's additional
And
levy
they're
of
never gonna
taxes
know-
to
they're
pay
never
for.
gonna know until we
Right.
put it up to them. Truly, I mean, where everybody stands.
Well, I guess, yeah, I see what you're at, so yeah, I guess we're gonna have to get the feedback from the patrons.
Yep.
And that's the only way we're gonna know whether they wanna go through with this or not.
Yep.
Yeah, are we ready? Do I read this first?
I motion and the resolution.
So I put I motion and what I want to motion and then the resolution.
You just need to read it.
I motion and read the resolution.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I motion a resolution authorizing and providing for the calling of a bond election in Unified School District Number 434, Osage County, Kansas, Santa Fe Trail, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified electors of the district the question of issuing general obligation bonds of the district, authorizing application to the State Board of Education for the authority to call the bond election and for capital improvement state aid, and providing for the giving of notice of the bond election.
Okay, so we have a motion with Stephanie?
Do we need to include when we want to do this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't think so, I think we just have to, is that on the next reading? There's another piece to read, right? No? Okay, we just have to put that on the signatures and the,
So I think we need to decide when
Hold on a minute.
we are going to hold a bond election amongst ourselves. The way this paperwork is written that went with that resolution, this was dated November 3rd. It's for 26 million to cover the cost to, the ballot question is in your book. And it's for 26 million for renovation, improvements, furnish, equip, construct, Carbondale as pre-K through 5. Construct, furnish, equip, improvements and resident and renovations at the high school for 6 through 12 facilities. Make and acquire the necessary improvements, pay the cost of issuance and interest on bonds during construction. This is dated November 3rd, but I think if we want to go with an August
yes,
date, we really have to.
yes, yeah,
We need to make that.
yeah, we need to decide.
But the
So
ballot.
do I gotta read all of what you just said?
No.
Okay.
Only the resolution that you read.
And then we did.
Yes, and now, so we have a motion, we would need a second.
I will second it.
In a second, you, right there, Michelle? Okay, all in favor? Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain? Okay. Passes 6-1. And then you need to add the date to that?
Do we need to vote on the date now separately?
I think you need to decide the date internally to
Yeah,
let
it'd probably be good.
Clayton and them know.
Go ahead and make it.
I would make the motion to do the election in August.
At the August election? Okay, so we have a motion
I'll second.
to go to the August election with a second. All in favor?
Abstain.
Abstain again?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. And let's see here.
So we,
And then
do we need to vote that we are deciding a two-campus?
If that's the question and the
That's the question that will be, that was presented in the documents, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
Oh, so we already did that?
Yes.
Oh,
I think
gotcha.
that was the motion, yeah.
Okay.
That's the stuff you'll all sign.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I know.
All right, that concludes 8.
8.3, then you go legislative updates. 8.1 moved to 8.4.
Okay, now,
Oh, yeah.
8.4. I have my arrow there.
Yeah,
That's part of it.
yeah,
You got it there
we got a
with
little
me.
bit going on tonight.
All right, legislative updates.
Okay. So the governor is currently considering lots of bills, lots of legislation. She's in the veto process. There's things she has passed forward as bipartisan legislation and other pieces that she'll veto, either line item or whether they're appropriations or not. And I wanted to just bring to your attention that we'll be talking a lot about the cell phone bill and the device bill, as that will change our operations and procedures and policies. So the administrative team is going to work through that this summer, make sure that we have legal guidance. KASB actually just today pushed forward some legal guidance and some documents to consider. We will bring that all to you to review, put them in our handbooks, things like that, after you guys have approved things. So there's some questions on language in there. Always when you have law, that's can be interpreted a lot of different ways. I think one of the biggest questions was inaccessibility and what that means. I've heard some of the legislators that said, our intention on this was just backpacks and lockers. And then others were like, well, no, that's accessible to kids. It needs to be in a central location in the office. And so I think legal counsel at KASB is working to really clean that up so districts aren't in some vague limbo with policy making and handbook writing and things like that. So we'll bring that to you, but that'll be a big change. Not only, yes, lots of schools have cell phone policies, but this is a much stricter. It's a bell to bell. There's no passing period, no lunch, no recess, none of that. So it also will affect accommodations with students with other devices such as earbuds, headphones, things like that. A lot of our students have some of those things written in their IEPs. And we also have students with medical needs that use devices. So all those things, we're just going to get the interpretation, how we need to approach it, things like that. We also have other laws that dictate we meet IEPs and those mandates as well. So those have to align, and sometimes they're foggy. So we'll work through that. I don't want to tell you we've made any decisions or said anything. We've talked to staff about it a little bit. I put it in my last newsletter just to give parents like conversations with your kids that this will be hard. It will be different, even during passing time, and so it's going to be a challenge, and it'll be hard for some parents as well. They want to be able to connect with their kids. Some parents,
how we were when we grew up.
Yeah, I know. Some parents are very opposed to this. They believe there's safety concerns in that and other things. So, and all those are justifiable. The legislature heard testimony from a variety of different opinions on this bill. I was actually up there testifying, and we listened to a lot of great opinions. And none of them are wrong. They're all just different perspectives on what they want for their kids and in these devices. So we'll navigate that. It is all devices. It's watches and earbuds and all the things. So we'll navigate that, and we'll bring something to you for you guys to review. And I'll try to give you a couple of things ahead of time to look at before we bring a final product to you.
And all of our students have Chromebooks,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
And all of the Chromebooks like Bluetooth and I assume equipped?
Yeah.
And so there's really nothing that you couldn't do on a Chromebook in terms of the earbuds and things like that, correct?
Sure, yeah, there's some things like that. You want to talk about capabilities?
I mean, yes, but again, it's legalese because they talk about headphones and Bluetooth headphones, like they spell out fairly. So I think there's a lot to develop. But the Chromebooks themselves start at second grade all the way up, and they are fully Bluetooth capable. And there are, I mean, like you can email to text. And
No, that's what I was gonna say, like-
there's other methodologies
Yes.
that will be used because the kids are crafty.
Hardware,
And so it's just, there's a lot to develop, to unpack
It will
with
be
this
very hard
field.
because like your kid could just start emailing you 15.
Yeah.
Developing the typing skills.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The good thing is we have a lot of monitoring on our Chromebooks and we use,
Line Houdini would be, you know.
LineWise.
Yeah, we use line-wise and class-wise together. I'll tell you what, that product is.
So we have control over those because they're ours. The hard part is not having control over theirs.
Fully endorse it.
Yeah.
So when it would take effect at the start of the next
September
school year?
1 is the September 1, which we would start it.
Right.
No, we'll start it, but that's just the official law. So do you guys have any questions on that or suggestions you want me to consider with administrators? Okay, and then there is some.
What are you doing with staff?
Yeah, well, what do you mean, what are we doing with them?
With the cell phone policy.
Is that?
Well, they'll be part of it.
It's both.
Yeah, well, there will be a piece of it, well, no, they're not written into the bill in that capacity, but we will have, but there are things that we will write in there about staff and expectations and then their role of modeling and how that's gonna work. So we'll have to work through all that and talk about it and we can have our own policies as well on those things in the workplace, so. Social media is the one you're talking about with staff, so there is one on social media and teachers communicating in two-way communication on social media platforms with current students, not graduated students, but current students.
Okay.
Now, it might cause some issues. I mean, if you think about a small community and how many of our teachers are friends with students of their friends, you know, they may not be their student they're teaching, but you two are friends and you're Facebook friends with her son on Facebook or whatever, and you're a staff member. What do we do with that? How does that work? According to the law, it says you can't be. So we'll have to review all that, get that. I haven't read any of the KSB guidance yet on that. So teachers have talked about it. They're like, well, I'm not going to stop being friends with my friend's child. And so there's a lot of that. But we'll see, and we'll go through it. We'll work through the process and see what we need to write up for everybody. Any questions on that? Okay. Good times. Good times.
I know,
My problem. Well, when I was up at the legislature, I said to them, so can I just give my parents your phone numbers?
Yeah.
So you guys want to take a local decision from us, I'll give you their number, your number, so they can call you when there's an issue.
Well, at least we've eased them
They
into
didn't like
it a
that
little
one.
bit.
Yeah, we tried.
Yeah, we've eased them into it.
Yeah.
It does, you know, on the positive, you know, I try to look at it as, this is a massive distraction. Our kids have addictions. It affects mental health, it affects bullying, it affects different kinds of behaviors. And it gives us a little teeth in the matter. So there's pros and cons to all of it, and I'm trying to look at all the angles, and I'm a parent as well, and so, you know, it's hard, me monitoring my own kids' devices, you know, at any given time throughout the day, and even when I've got all the things on it to manage it, it's still hard. So, you guys know, you have kids, so.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, negotiations.
Yes, 15 minutes.
15?
Yeah, just a quick
Can we
review.
add a few?
Mr. President, I move we go into executive session to discuss negotiations pursuant to the exception for employer-employee negotiations under COMA, and the open meeting will resume in the boardroom at 9:32 with Faith Lloyd present.
Okay, we have a motion,
I'll second.
second, all in favor? Have a report?
No, because we don't meet till Monday.
Okay,
I mean, it's a second.
all right, we'll do that next time. We are